Hello everyone, my name is Hussein. It's my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going through every system, doing a complete in-depth breakdown of Blue Protocol, Star Resonance, and its closed beta. There's a lot of stuff in this game, and a lot of it's not explained well, partially because it's a CBT, and they're still translating things and using AI to generate stuff, but also because the UI in this game is probably the weakest point of the game. That being said, I don't see any videos or content right now that really goes through step by step, and it's just one video with everything there, and you can go through the timestamp to kind of cover what part you're unsure about or things you're unsure about to help you learn and play. I think it's day 4 or 5 of the CBT. So without further ado, I'll start going a bit in depth and covering everything in the game. We'll be going through literally everything. When I mean everything, I mean every single one of these boxes will be talked about. I mean every system, whether it comes to gearing, life skills, just to regular skills, all of that will be in depth, giving you a bit of insight into how that system works, how you can obtain mats and currencies for those systems. Really everything's there. If there's something you need, skip to that timestamp and see if that covers it. If not, leave a comment saying what you would have liked to see or things you're still unsure about. So before we even get into any of this, let's just start with map and navigation. You have your world map here. This is your starting area, and you'll see these orbs are your kind of TP points. A cool thing is when they're unlocked and they're gray, you can navigate to them. So if you're just trying, and I just did this, I just navigated to all of these while I was AFK to unlock them at the start. So it's something really easy to do and quickly get. And anytime you try navigating to a place, it'll use the TP that's closest. That's another feature in this game. You can auto navigate to a lot of places. You just click navigate, it'll TP here, and then it'll ride your mount to here. So this is the map. There's some key things here. Your areas and different areas where you might go to regularly. And you'll kind of get used to these icons. It can be a lot at first. For example, your guild being down here. There's your map and your navigation. Right now, there's no way to get into the underground district I found easily, which kind of sucks, except by, I think if you go out here and you click this, you can now get to your underground district. That's another area, and you can TP to do different things. So whether quests or boss hunts want you to go certain places, it's an easy way to do that. So the only other thing to know about the map system is we can come over here. These bigger kind of pieces are map reveals. So generally you'll go to an area, go to the map reveal the whole area, then start revealing the TP points, and you'll go navigate there to get those so that you have an idea of where everything is. So that should cover map. It'll also give you cool things like where you can find spawns of different life skills that you might need to go to. And generally you can navigate to a lot of these places. Some places won't allow you to navigate to auto, so you'll have to go yourself. But that covers the map. In terms of UI, you can use your scroll wheel to zoom out and then come here to go here, versus I know sometimes people just go here and then they teleport here and they walk in and go through a loading screen. You don't have to do that. You can just zoom out and teleport to where you want to go. So it's the map, general navigation. A cool thing in this game is as you level, I'm not sure where you find it exactly, but let me just look at my profile real quick. Sorry. I think it's here under the adventure level. Yeah. So if you go to adventure level, as you increase your adventure level, you get cool abilities. Like you can jump up to 5 times in the air and dash in the air. So it just makes navigating the world really nice and feel smooth, and it lets you get to places that you normally wouldn't. You will unlock 2 features here. And this is just part of that navigation. If you go to skills, float and phantom dash, they'll be unlocked here. You just talk to the herb and you get it, then you go and you equip it from that screen in skills, and you'll have float. And then phantom dash, this one was a little tricky just because of how it's laid out. If you come here, if it loads on, if you come here, there should be this white orb. Click on this orb and it'll open, and then you can use your float ability to go up, and then it'll take you all the way there. Once you have these, you can glide. This is really cool in this game for navigating. and I think it's super underutilized. When I first started, I would just hold W key. So let's say I'll start on like a high point here, maybe here. It seems like it's pretty high. So for map navigation, I think this is key. And in the second area, you'll see there's a lot of opportunity to do that. Here I start floating. Before, when I did that, I just hit the straight floor. That's because I'm holding W. So when you hold W, you go down. When you hold S, you come up. But it's actually very nice to just navigate around the map like this and glide. So from that point, I'm already... Where am I even? Here, oh, I'm at the edge of the map. But yeah, as you can see, like, let's say I wanted to get to here. It's probably somewhere like... Oh. Okay, well, ignoring my poor things. Point is really cool to navigate using fly. Awesome. Mobs don't find me. Also, around the world, you'll find chests like that. They'll give Unbound, and gold ones will give more. That should cover map and navigation. Now let's look at currency and trading shops. I'm just going to go back here, and let's really go in depth into your trading center and your store. So the key thing here to understand is the difference between your bound rose orbs, your unbound rose orbs. So you can see this little icon with the chain means it's bound to your account. And the same for Luna, which is the currency in this game for buying a lot of things, like upgrading your skills, is bound and unbound. What this means generally is bound orbs, and throughout the game when you complete a lot of things, like when you pretty much do anything, if you go to your handbook here, this is like the charter for this game, you'll get bound currency and bound orbs. The main difference between them is that when you use unbound rows, you can buy obviously premium cosmetics, but if on the wish gacha system, right, if I use an unbound version, the drop I get will give me an unbound drop, meaning I can then go and sell that drop in the trading center. So if I go here, appearance, these guys pulled on the unbound banner, got the set for the wish, and now we're selling it for this many unbound Luna. And now I can use that unbound Luna to go and buy other things in the shop. So that's generally how this system works. I cannot use bound Luna to go through and buy things. You will have to sometimes buy things through the shop, like development items. It just makes it easier to go ahead and buy through here and get stuff. But the key here is to understand the difference between the two and when to use it. There are a lot of things you can buy with the bound currency. But if you're if you get anything through there, it will not be sellable through the shop. So for example here, if I use my wish coins bound for the gacha here, I can get one bound item. Whatever item I get here will be bound. So I think if I even look at my history, I actually did pull the Sleepy Kitty, right? But it's bound. So I can sell it, but it is cool I pulled it. And then if you look at your unbound version, another thing to note is the guaranteed qualities are different. So here it tells me guaranteed rate after 50, rare, and advanced or higher. So there are different rates depending on which one you're pulling on, right? And this advanced Meow Lux card that I pulled from here, I can actually go and sell it in the store, something I did. As you can see here, I sold it here for 728. Now this leads me to another thing before we even go any further in how you can use the store, how you can do things. There's something you have to get. You're looking at the store, and it's the monthly card. The monthly card is so important. I mean, this is nice, right? It gives you 3,000 bound orbs, which is a good amount, plus 5,000 a day, so 150,000 Luna. But this trading tax minus 20% is such a big difference if you have a big item for sale. So if you ever have anything big for sale, getting this is so good. It also gives you a trading deposit, making it free, meaning you can list things for really high, and if it doesn't sell, you can just bring it back and relist it. So really nice to have, really cool to focus on if you're looking at getting in here, is getting that pass for the tax. And I know this is closed beta, so it's not the biggest deal for me. But I didn't have that for this. So I sold this for around $1 million on like the second day or first day. And I only got 728. I could have gone like 900. So make sure to get that trading thing so you don't pay a 20% tax, okay? We're trying to dodge taxes. Awesome. You can buy a bunch of stuff here, mats and stuff like that. Generally, you can also buy your appearance stuff here. So if you're willing, you have stuff, you can get it. And then here's how you'd sell your stuff. So anything unbound, right? And we'll go through. So these are some of my life skills that I got that are unbound. I'll go through how you could get these, and then how much you could sell them for. They give you a set price, right? And here maybe I want to sell all of these. I can make 22,000 doing that, right? And they'll generally give you a price on how much these things can sell for, so you have an idea. So like I could sell this for 35. Cool. So that's the shop. Generally covered. The only other thing in the shop, and this hasn't really been explored too much, but you can buy bound rose orbs using lunas. So for example, if I have 800k, how many of these could I even potentially buy? Say I could buy 100, 1,000 bound orbs for 500,000. So I don't think the ratio is too good, but I'm sure that people will figure out what the best is if you want to do it. Like if I sold 10, I get 5,500 lunos that I can then use to go buy something here. So the rate's not too favorable. We'll see how the economy actually plays out, but that's the shop. Cool. Now we can look at all the stores. There's a lot of stores here. You can go through all of them. There's a lot of appearance options, and it's really cool in this game. You can dye everything to whatever color you want. Here you'll see at the top ones that use unbound orbs, but there are really good options. Like this is really cool, and it's unbound. It's bound orbs, so you can actually buy these as a free-to-play. Someone that spends a little bit of money. So there's a lot of options there, and there's a mount here that you can actually guaranteed get if you just want to spend your unbound orbs on, and then you can also get skins for the mount below if you like a design. So I don't know if everyone's seen these. There are options there, and it's kind of buried. So that covers the vault. Is just, I think every week they update this, and there's different cool items you could get for really cheap. So if you're looking for a deal, you can go through there. There's a fashion store. The mystery store updates every, I believe, day for you. And there's different things in here, different mats, different things you could potentially use, like a mixing agent. This is used to dye. You can get it. Generally look at it. I'd advise getting anything that's kind of like a mat. Like this is probably worth getting, so I'll get it. These are all just things you might use, as well as this. This is used for your imagines later. These are really nice to have. Have a look. If there's something good there, go ahead and get it. You can look at a colorful store now. This is the orb store. This is where you can spend a lot of your bound currency. Some of the notable things here are this Hero's Radiance. You'll use this to select an additional class to unlock. They give you one free one in the CBT, so you have your main class, and then you can unlock a second class. If you want to get a third class, you'd have to use one of these, and then you go and you select the class you want to use it on. And then also, if you want to reset your life skills, you can use this to reset it as well. There's also the Exquisite Material Select, so this is really good. Probably are going to get this every time, because you'll use these to unlock like higher tier imagines. We'll go through that system when we get to imagines, but generally really good mats here. Also options if you want to get a dance, something cool, and you can also get your bound wish coins here. So that's the orb store. The friendship store, you get these by generally just being around doing activities like leisure ones, so like the dance one or the street prophet. We'll go through those as well. But again, you can get bound rose orbs, which is nice. You can get cosmetics, more emotes. Honor coin, this shop, you get a bunch of honor coins pretty much doing anything. All of these are generally good. You're going to need alloys. You're going to need reforged stones. I'd recommend just buying everything here, all these mats you're going to use. So as you get more honor coin, you buy these mats, you use them to upgrade your gear. Each section, when I go through, you'll see how to use these. And then the reputation store, you get reputation by completing different things, like your dailies, your bureaus. They'll give you reputation. I believe sometimes world bosses give you reputation as well. So generally you can use it for these outfits. I'm sure they'll update these outfits as time goes on, and you can use it to get one Volish coin. And lastly, here's your bonus The only thing here to note is the bonus top up is actually bound currency. So if you bought 3280 rose orbs, right, thinking you're gonna whale these on the wish, right, for the unbound drop, right, and this is something that got me, I only got 3280 to use because the rest, the top up bonus is bound currency, so it cannot be used here. So keep that in mind. Don't get tricked like I did and fall for that. The last store now to look at is the Meow Store. This is like the premium gacha currency store. Again, if you buy, like if you get lucky and get an unbound version of these, something you can sell it. But when you get enough, you can use the tickets, like the one I sold, to get really cool mounts. You need 5 of them. The mounts all have their own effects, and we'll go through that as well. If you click here, you can go through each mount individually and look at the speed, the turn ratio, different effects it may have. So like I believe this one lets you like leaving an arc and 100% CD while sprinting. So it's like you can just keep doing rainbow leaps forever. So there's differences in these mounts and what they can do and their speeds. So it's pretty cool to see that. And then again, if you want, you can get skins for them. Again, this is really expensive, like Giga Whale stuff. But that covers that. There's a member store. As you spend, I think, unlock things, you get more of these through the member center here. And you'll get like a monthly gift. Right, and here. So you go through, you hit explore, you get that. You hit 60, you get more. I guess it's as you spend money. I'm not sure why that's popped off. See this? Okay, yeah, so you can do these, get quest points, and then increase your level here. This is the Meow system to get access to these types of drops, and I guess this mount's pretty cool to get. And then the Vault Store, as you play the game, you'll get these Meow Lux, either from wishes, from a mystery store. I've also gotten it from a bunch of random things, so you'll use these eventually to buy more outfits, more appearances. So that should cover wishes and the shop. Now you know whether or not you use your bound currency or the unbound coins. It means whether or not you can sell it on the auction, what it means for that. And you can also just look at the rates here. It's 0.15% and a guarantee of 1.5. So it slowly increases over time till you're guaranteed to get it. And then here's the rare prize you'd get. Ooh. That covers wishes, trading center, and store. I think that gives you a pretty good idea of how those three interact. Now we'll go through the season hub, which is a battle pass. When we look at the battle pass, you can see here, I'm level 17. It's pretty standard. You do a bunch of these things and you get along this bar, and then you claim rewards for each one. The key thing here to note is you can only increase your battle pass level by completing these. Once I click 200, it'll add to my level, right? And I think it's like 3 or 4 levels a day. But this 500 doesn't actually add to this, and nothing else you do can increase this level. Only by doing this activity merit points every day can you increase your battle pass level. There's no like, if you did X quest or completed your story like in like Wuwa or Honkai, right? Or you did enough pulls, you can get X amount of battle pass EXP. There is nothing right now that can advance that as far as I'm aware. So it's just this. And I think that might be a mistake. I'm not 100% sure. But when I was level 4 on the battle pass and I wanted these so I could, you know, get there, there's nothing I could do to get it. So that's how that works. Again, standard, a lot of mats, a lot of good rewards. If you're going to be playing a lot, it seems like it's worth it to get. And it depends on if you feel like it's worth it. But I wouldn't say this is a must get compared to anything. I think it's probably nice, but I don't know if this is a must get. What is a must get is that monthly pass if you're thinking of selling anything. You can go to the second section. These are titles. So this tells you how long the season is going to run for. Titles are your, I guess, how much you've accomplished. You click I'm an advanced natural 1. They increase by these silver trophies. The more silver trophies I get, the higher level I get. And these are the title names. Each title, like 3 or 4, you'll get a new reward, right? So depending on which one you get to, you get these different rewards and unlocks. And you also get these season points, these boxes, and this currency. You'll have a bunch of these basic star chest boxes. You should just open them. They give you a random reward of any kind. And we can go through what each one of these will be used for in each section. But high level, these are for your imagines. This is also for your imagines. So these are for purple imagines. These are for your seals, which will be for your talents. And these are for your skills. These are for your gear. So again, a good ratio of it. It's a bit RNG, but you'll get them. And as you get through, you get to unlock this stuff, and you'll get this outfit as the main prize for the battle pass, right? Type 0 set. Emblems aren't released yet, but when they are, I'll give an update on that. You can go through here. Here's how you actually get those trophies. It's generally by doing these accomplishments. Generally, I've just been playing the game and getting them, but there are ones you can do that will help you progress, right? Like the social section. Here, if you go fishing, you can do a bunch of fishing ones to get them. Showcase fishes, as well as taking photos, which is really easy. You can do at any point in time. There's also ones where you're just chatting with people and obtaining friendship and defeating bosses. So again, the more of these you do, the more trophies you get, the higher along you go. And generally, as you play the game, you'll get through each section, you'll get more trophies, and you'll increase your name and then get the rewards. The last section here is the season store. A lot of stores in this game. A pretty nice store. I think the key things here right now are these advanced materials, these intermediate materials. You can just get these. These basic materials are pretty helpful too when you're trying to craft and imagine. So you could hoard this. It resets every month. Generally, these are things you're going to look at maxing out. And then probably this bound Luna as well. Probably look at getting all of these because you'll use this to upgrade your skills. So that's the store. Don't forget to max it out. Get stuff from it. So I should cover everything in the first row. So you're going to go hand by hand. This is the charter for this game, as well as daily login rewards, right, for this. A manual. They really need to add a claim all for this. It's insane that there isn't. But you can see you can consume and get different rewards for doing different things. Generally, you'll get a lot of these just by playing the game. But it'd be really nice if there was a claim all, because it takes a lot of time going through and clicking all of these. This is the last section. I think you get 5 bound orb for each one of these you click. And really need to claim all here. But the cool thing about this is it tells you when different things are releasing. So this game is time gated, meaning stuff will release as time goes on. You can't just do everything, and I think it's the way they've released it. But you can see what's coming up, and it seems like 9/11 is actually the last day on here. So maybe potentially the last day of the beta is 9/11. It's crazy. There's the handbook. Now we can start looking at features and really focusing on a few things here. Bureau commissions, right? Give you the honor coin you can use in that one store. Give you a Unbound. You get 3 of these a day, and they'll be right here on the map, as you can see. Come to this bulletin board, and you'll get your 3 that you want to do for the day. You can do them with friends. They're pretty easy. They also give you this reputation that you can use at the reputation store. And generally, you're going to do these every day. We'll do guild later together, and then we'll also do these dungeons later together. Before we get to those sections, let's have a section and just look at classes, stats, and how you'd pick your classes, as well as mats and gear. Here's your general profile. You'll see that you get an ability score. It's important for what dungeons you'll be able to do, and I'll break down what each one is. You will have your base class. When you choose to change classes, again, there'll be a quest that lets you get that resource. You just pick that class, and then you'll unlock it. When you switch between these, it'll tell you, hey, you want to switch to Win Knight class. And then when you do, it'll ask you to equip a weapon for that class, and then you'll have that weapon on. And now you're Win Knight class. Also here in this section, you'll be able to see the 2 specs they do and photos of it. Pretty cool. You get an idea on attributes and what you should be building. And the attributes are pretty important in sense of what you want your character to do and what you think makes sense for them, depending on the spec. Now, I'd say these are very much good baselines, but as you get more advanced and a deeper understanding of the game, don't feel beholden to the stats on that you'd be chasing after, right? Here it recommends mastery, haste, and strength. Haste is like CDR. It's also attack speed and cast speed, but the more haste you have, it helps reduce the cooldown of certain things. However, if I have a lot of resets, maybe I don't need haste, right? Maybe I want more crit, maybe I want more damage. If you're a tank, versatility, maybe I want more of this, right? Damage reduction by 0.15%, healing and shielding by 3.5%, even bonus. So maybe as a tank, this is more valuable because you have more health and more versatility. Even though it doesn't recommend it anywhere, maybe stacking this is actually better than the other options. So again, being kind of resourceful, figuring out what you think is the best, right? Maybe it's not crit, right? Also, in this game, crit is capped at 50% crit damage, so it makes crit even less useful. I just figured that out now. But there's your stats and how they work. We'll now take this opportunity to go through your gearing and how you gear, and then we'll go through dungeons. When we look at my gear, you have a bunch of pieces here. As you can see, there's 3 rarities. There's your common, your epic, and then your legendary. And each rarity difference is the number of lines, especially, and what it could roll, and then also the amount of perfection. I think epics are capped at 80, and legendaries can go to 100 perfection. So we'll go through what that system is as well. So you can see you have a lot of slots for gear. Right band, left band, a charm, ring, necklace, and then your basic pieces. So to really understand gearing, we have to come over to the Artesian Guild here and come to the gear store. So you navigate using that waypoint, you come over here, and here's where a lot of your gearing will be. There's 2 main stores, guys, here, and we'll go over the mats and the importance of the mats together here. So alloy shards, which you can obtain through your season pass, you get through the honor coin section. So I showed you here these mats again. These are alloy shard. Reforged stones you'll use for the other guy. Starforged stones you'll use for refinement. But again, these mats are all used for something pretty helpful. You'll see here, I can use these mats to unlock a purple weapon, purple piece, whatever. So early on, once you've completed the story, you'll want to get these shards and try getting a gear or probably a purple weapon to start to help increase your gear score, your damage, your tankiness, whatever it is, and then go there. You can also choose which class you're redeeming it for. So when you get a secondary class, like for me, it's Wind Knight, started building that. I got a purple spear from here, right? Because I didn't have a weapon. So this is where you use these alloy shards for. You can also just get more Luna and exchange it for that. Once you kind of get past that and you're looking more for legendary gear through the dungeons, and we'll go through that system again as well, here's where you'll really start to increase the power level of your different gears, and we'll go through each section one by one. So what does reforging gear mean? So what reforging does, it uses the other currency that I showed you in the shop, these reforging stones, and you have to use it corresponding to the gear. So this is level 40, so it's for level 40 gear. When you reach level 60 gear, you have to use level 60 stones, and level 80, level 80. So don't worry about saving these, just to use them. You'll obtain them through a bunch of stuff, right? Through these Unstable Space and Chaotic Realm. These are 2 dungeons. Also through your stores. What these do is, depending on the perfection of an item, right, is the amount of times you can reforge it. Each time I reforge an item, it increases its perfection. What that does is it increases all these basic attributes and advanced attributes, and it re-rolls this last stat. So for example, if I was to do it on here, right, I still have some room here. I could use 4 to reforge and get it to 30. Once it hits 30, I can't reforge it anymore to increase these stats, but I can reforge it to change this last roll. So maybe I don't want luck, right? Now I hit 30, I get luck 47, okay? So now that's what I have here. I can do this again if I wanted to change this last roll. I don't like what it is. Otherwise, I just keep it. And there you go. There's my item. And so you want to reach max perfection to get the highest ratio on all of these things. Another key thing to note is this first line can be really cracked. Certain gears can drop really good lines. For example, this helmet I have has strength 1.5%, which is really nice. So you want to look for things like this for your gear to really go all in on and help build your stuff out. Again, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this, but for a DPS build, attack 1.5%, like awesome, right? Damage bonus versus bosses, attack speed 1.5%. A lot of cool potential here to build your build around, depending on what that first line is. And then really you want to use these stones on these legendaries or really good 3-roll purples initially to start progressing, and then once you have that, you go and use it on your legendary pieces, and you increase your kind of gear score and your gear that way. So that's reforging. That's what you use those stones for. Refinement. You use these blue spheres. Again, you can get it from the store. You also get these through these chests you'll get throughout playing the game, and you also get them from your unstable space, which is your 2 daily dungeons. We'll go to that. But before that, these materials, if you go into smelting and this is where life skills come in, you can also get these. But the main way you're going to get them is through those basic star chests. When you go to your inventory, you'll have a bunch of these. They're just going to be a gray box, and they have an RNG of giving you something. And you'll get a lot of these hopefully through there. If not, you can buy them in the trading center depending on how much people are selling them for. Not the most expensive. What does refinement do? So this is something I learned, and you can do is refine everything. It's not bound to the equipment you're wearing. It's bound to the slot. So initially you might be thinking, why would I refine my purple gear? It's bad. It's not actually refining that. It's refining the slot. So it's a little weird, but even if you change this weapon, this refinement effect will still be there on my new weapon. If I change my helmet, this refinement effect will still be there. So again, this is applied to the slot, not the actual equip. So this refinement, again, figure out which ones make most sense. If you're obviously a DPS, refining one of these attack ones makes way more sense. If you're a tank, maybe it's the armor and stamina, right? And making sure these slots are the ones you prioritize first. And here's some of that time gating. 2 days, 10 hours, I can do the next refinement. And when you get to higher levels, I'm sure that success rate goes down. So you'll need blessing materials or other things to count for it. But the nice part about this is that it's not per item. It's for your whole slot. So you can just do it once and then you're done with that. Embedding is a new feature that just came out today. The issue with it is that it's not fully there because people can't actually gem craft the actual stones. But what you would do, right, is if you had a gem here available to use, let me see if I can find one. Here are the gems you would embed based off what type of class you are. Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and Diamond. I think Ruby gives you weak point strike. I don't know what that means. I think it might be crit. Sapphire gives you haste. Emerald gives you mastery. And Diamond gives you luck. For whatever reason, Diamond is yellow. Okay, I think it's supposed to be Topaz, and it's just a mistake. Well, it's all good. As you can see here, depending on the type of cut it is, it'll give you a certain amount of... So all Sapphires will give haste. Depending on how it's cut, it'll give a secondary effect. So here it increases intellect. So for a caster, they'd want a pair cut. But maybe for a tank like me, I'd want a triangular cut. So you can go and embed that into your weapon and your different gears to give that additional effect. Last section here, just dismantle extra gear you get that you don't want to use. For example here, intellect, I don't need it. I can disenchant it to get those alloy shards. Then I can go use those alloy shards to get new purples there. So that covers the gearing here. And generally gives you an idea of how you'll progress your character and ability score through gearing. When you click here, you get a quick overview of all the materials you have, just so you have a sense of where you're at, and if you have a lot to use. Awesome. Now that we've got gearing done and out of the way, and you kind of have an idea around how to do that, let's look at how you actually get gear. It's going to be through the Unit X Research Facility and World Bosses. So we can go over these two kind of features and ideas here. Elite hunts, boss hunt, world bosses. What do these give you? How are they important and how do they relate to gearing? As well as when we go to our weekly, the chaotic realm and the unstable realm, right? What does this mean and what type of gear can you expect and rewards? When we look at the bosses, we'll go to monster hunt here, this one down here. Awesome. You can see on the left, common, elite, and bosses. For the bosses, there's two main things to note here. One is that you can get these rewards by using, and you get 2 boss keys a day. You have a maximum of 6, so make sure every 3 days you're doing your bosses. Once you help participate and defeat a boss, you can use a boss key to get the chest, and you have a chance of getting any one of these rewards, right? But if you don't have any more keys, you can still kill the boss or help kill it, and you still have a chance of getting these drops. So this is really nice. You can still get purple here, like an epic weapon. an epic helmet. Here you can get legendaries, right? A legendary weapon, a legendary bracelet, right? So it's still worth it to kill these bosses or participate in killing them, even if you don't have the keys, because you can get the reward. So it's really nice they did this, and I think it's a really good balance because now you can still farm bosses or world bosses and get something for your time. Same with elite keys. You get 2 elite keys a day. You can use them, again, a maximum of 6. Use them every 3 days. You can use them to get, again, these wills, right? These rewards are guaranteed, or you can get these drops. And these drops generally are mats you're going to use for crafting and magic. So that's what you'd use these for. So that's one way to get gear, right? Is by participating in these world bosses, trying to RNG it. The other way to get gear, and there's 2 main ways, is one coming here, and you'll probably have already done this. It's called the unstable space. Each day this updates to any mission. These are easier versions of the dungeon in the game, and they guaranteed 2 attempts will give you drops. When you're new, you definitely want to do 2 of those a day and just see what 2 drops you get, and they'll help out. Once you kind of have that, you can come over here on the chaotic realm and get a quest, and here you can start doing the dungeon system in this game, which is a lot like WoW or Mythics or stuff. Initially you have normal, hard difficulty where you need a higher gear score to attempt, and then master, which will be an even higher gear score, and then master 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which are just different, more harder difficulties where more mechanics are added, and as you clear them you get better rewards. The normal version here will give you the purple gear you're looking for, as well as Reforge stones. Now a key thing here to note is there's a weekly limit on how many Reforge stones you can get, so you can do as many normal goblin nests you want and get as many purples as you want. After a certain number, you won't get any more Reforge stones in addition to the drops. You'll just get the drops. And then you can do difficulties generally to get legendary versions of these, like a weapon, gloves, arm. Generally, a legendary weapon's the first thing you're chasing. A lot of people are looking after it to get it. And you can go through these in 2 ways. You can match. So to match, you have to meet this gear score, and you can match and do it with other people who are above this gear score. However, if you're below this gear score, so what a lot of people did day 1 is they got a group together that was 3,300, and they went, and you can still challenge this below the gear score. You just need a pre-made team of 5. And then you can go in and try clearing it. Again, each dungeon has its own mechanics. I'm sure you've tried them. They're a lot of fun. Some are pretty complex and they're pretty hard. But that's how you kind of progress there. The only other thing here to look at is Bane Lord and the chance of this spawning. So I don't know what the chance is. It might be 5%. I think it might be around there. But throughout your run, there's a chance this mini boss spawns. Once you kill him, you're guaranteed to get either a gauntlet, earring, or weapon on the clear. And then you're also guaranteed to get a chest that you can use to select between gauntlets and earrings. And depending on the dungeon you do, so that one gives gauntlet and earrings, but when you come to Tina here, you'll see she gives helmet and necklace. And the next one I think gives like, this one gives ring and chest, right? So as you progress through these, you'll look at getting the next level and progressing your character and getting stronger. This is how you do these dungeons to gear up and slowly get stronger. And the loop between doing these, getting things, if you get drops that you don't need, you reforge them, right? You dismantle them, and then you try getting new drops. So that covers dungeons and gearing. Now let's look at skills and talents, and then we'll go to guilds and we'll do some more weeklies. Maybe we'll cover leisurely as well. When we look at skills, here's your main page. Here are all your skills for your class. The main thing here to note, and I'm sure you know, these 3 are fixed. You can't change them. They'll always be there. You'll pick 4 of these to use, depending on your build and how you'll use it. And there's 2 main ways to progress your skills. There's to level them up, right? So if I click my judgment and I want to level it up, I can level it up because it's all, right, like for shield toss, and you'll get an upgrade. But because it's already level 14, the next time I can do it is 40, and to get 40 I have to do the main story to progress. I haven't done that yet, but that's how you kind of do it. The other way to evolve your skills is to advance them using skill books. And this is why people generally recommend you don't focus on too many classes or more than one initially, because you'll need to spend these skill books to advance the skill stage for these classes. And if you use them across multiple, you won't be able to get far in one. What's important for these though is generally you want to advance your whole rotation of skills that you're using to 3. Some exceptions, but generally you want to advance them to level 3 before you pick one to specialize in. Why is that? Because when you come here to advance, you can see that stage 2 to 3 is quite a big gap across the board for all these skills. Here it's 5%, here it's over 15%, right? It's a 15% increase in total attack damage. How much that matters all depends on the skill, but you see here it goes from, 16% all the way to 50% increase in attack, right? So stage 3 for all of these abilities is very strong and highly recommend. Right here, total healing, 18%, 3% versus here was just 1%. Advance everything to 3, then pick what your main skill is going to be, and then advance that to beyond tier 3. And then you can keep progressing. Those are your skills. You can read through them to see what they do, and you'll generally figure out what synergies and stuff works for your skill in your class. If you want, I might make an in-depth one on what I'm currently doing with my knight, but that covers your skilling. Let's look at imagines. Generally, you'll equip 2 imagines, right, to your character, and they'll give different effects. As you can see here, this one gives me passive strength 4%. When I activate it, I get a strength bonus of 10%, and I empower the next attack to deal bonus attack damage in a limited area and disrupting the target's actions. So they all have their own effect. You can read Tina is a really good one. I think people love her because 50% CD down to all your allies. Really awesome. 6% passive strength. So these are the imagines you'll get. We'll go over how you get these right after we do talents, but let's just get back to these talents. Just know you'll equip 2, and really you can start cooking a lot of cool builds with your imagines and the combinations you do, but that'll be just a secondary. Phantom Dash and Float, I showed you where to get these and how to equip them. Let's have a look at talents. So talents are what you get as you level and as you complete certain trials. As you can see here, your talent points. The 2 main ways to get these are just through leveling up. There'll be training quests that you'll get throughout the game as you hit like 25, 30, I think 35. That'll give you more. And then the trial path, which can be found here, where it's a series of really, not the most complex, but you do X challenge, and if you complete that challenge, you get more talent points, and it's assigned by your class type. So as you can see here, there is Guardian, Strength, Support. Depending on what you're focusing on, you'd pick. For example, for my tank one, you go through, you do each one, and then you click here. Remember to click here to get these extra rewards, because they'll give you shields you can use for that class, which is nice. So make sure to click through that. And when you click here, you'll get reward, which is 2, 4, 6, 8. So I get 8 here. This is across all of them. So if I clear any of them to the 12th, I'll get 8 additional talent points to use across both my classes or all my classes. So that's cool to see. And that's how you get these talents. Now, depending on your class, your spec, whatever it is, you'll use your talents differently. A thing to note here is that once you reach 30 points here, you'll be able to pick your spec. Again, don't worry, you can pick between these 2 specs whenever you want, meaning you can swap from shield spec to recovery spec whenever I want. The only concern here is the gearing you might do for these 2 specs would be different, but initially when you're trying them out, don't feel like you're locked into one. You can try between both, especially for healer. I think if you're doing like a healer class and you want to just prog your solo stuff, you switch to the DPS healer, and then when you're doing group content, you switch to the healer content. But you pick and you can reactivate. Quick way to do that is just reset everything and then auto activate for the 30 here, and then activate here, and then you can go in and do your specking. The only other thing to note here is that you can't move backwards when you're doing this. So let's say let me just showcase. Hold up, let's refresh this. Sorry, activate, and now we go to my shield spec. Say I'm going this way, I go this way, and I get this. I can't now go backwards and get this. It doesn't let me, meaning I have to get this first to get this. So there's no backwards movement. You have to have gotten everything in the chain. So you can't like, here I come to this node, I get these 2, and then I progress in a separate way. You have to get the node before. So that's talents. Generally, these talents are pretty powerful. They'll be what you build your kits around. So, for example, for me right now, what I'm building my whole kind of kit around is this one, allowing my Sacred Blade to cause Vanguard Strike to do more, and then going down this tree to get all of these buffs for my Sacred Blade, and then finally you can see what the big buff payoff will be. So looking through that, you will evolve these every now and then with these Arcane Seals. Again, you get these through these selectors, through the Honor Coins, the Trial Path, and just these basic chests, as well as other things throughout the game. So again, that's why you want to kind of specialize in one or two, that, and then go on. Skills and talents, let's go finish off on Imagines. So I started with Imagines. The reason I stopped is because it's a really important part that hasn't really been covered too much. And this is really where I think some of the pay to win, some of the gearing, like end game gearing, really starts to get grindy. And I guess this is really what you're working towards. So when we get here, and you can get these drops from boss hunts, you can wish for Imagines. And as you wish for them, and the nice thing about this though, however, is you use bound currency. So it's not like Unbound and Bound have a difference. Here, I think you can only use bound currency to wish for. You can pick when to resonate, right? So I just picked Tina. And as you wish, you have a chance of getting these rare ones or these advanced ones. And as you can see here, I actually just randomly pulled an advanced one today. So this is how you get the wills. So what are the wills used for, and how do they become the actual Imagines? Well, if we come here to Battle Will Exchange, you'll see these are the wills. You get these fragments through disenchanting other golds or through completing different world bosses and high rolling. You can get these and you can craft a will. For example, just by doing world bosses, I got a bunch of purple wills that I can now use for making any one of these. Also through the star and the vaults, you can also get it. And we'll go over vaults too. It's like another dungeon. It's a bit prog. It's more focused on, I think, some of these will mats. Once you have the will, right, for one. So for example, I have this will from the Will Wish. Now I can craft it. Here's where a lot of that grind will come in. I have to get 15 of these. Okay, well, to get 15 of these, and I think I got this from a world boss, this one. You'll get them from world bosses, you'll get them from keys, but it's really slow. I think vaults will help a lot, so when you get higher level vaults, you'll be able to get a lot more of these. So this is where a lot of that willing can come in. People, and I don't know if it's worth it because of how expensive it is. You can will for these Amber of Times, right? Like 200k for one, I need 15, like 2 million. Like that is literally half of that amount, right? So it gets really expensive, but naturally you kind of want to get these over time. And if it's in your mystery store, you definitely want to get it. The orb store, I believe this resets a month. I'm not sure how often this resets, but you definitely want to get this exquisite material chest when you can, because it gives you one of these. So this, and I don't think I did this, but I think this is probably one of the most important purchases you can do, is getting these to get your exquisite material, to then build out your Imagine pool. The other cool thing to note about these Imagines is that there's a lot of synergy. So for example, this one gives you a luck effect. So if you're doing a build where you're just trying to trigger a bunch of luck effects, in this window where your luck effect is up, you could do for 20 seconds, you can combo that with another one that does a bunch of hits off luck and then your skill type, and you can get really creative with these builds. So this is really where you start to hone in on a build where you have these damage windows of insane damage. Here you can dismantle ones that you get for that currency to then go and recreate it. So now we know how to craft them, what they're used for, how to apply them. The last thing here to look at is, I think that's it actually. So that covers your exchange. Oh, the last thing was just these tokens. You'll see them in the shop. This is what you use to pull for your wells. Cool. That covers wills, imagines, tanks. Let's now look at life skills. Then we'll look at guilds, a bit of your wardrobe party, and anything else that might be missed. Again, there's a lot here. For example, There is these weekly, sorry, where is it? Challenge, World Boss Crusades. These are boss events you can do with a team of 20 people and get rewards and get reputation rewards, unbound currency, and some other extra rewards when you do them. The hard world bosses, really haven't done too many of these, but they're there to do as well. And then this is where you get a lot of that will currency through doing these vaults and doing a higher difficulty. They're like those mini dungeons, but you'll go through them and get different buffs, and you have time limits on how to complete them. They can get pretty difficult, and they're pretty nice because there's a variety of monsters. But that's how you'll get more of that will currency crafting material. Let's look at life skills. Okay, so the key thing here to note is you'll get an opportunity to pick life skills. I believe through this life skills exchange, the girl, you'll talk to her, you'll get your life skills. Here's pretty much the hub of all your life skills. And what you'll see is there's a vendor for that life skill that you'll talk to. And they're like the crafting exchange and the crystal exchange, that's a vendor. You'll talk to him, you'll get the skill. Now that you have the skill, you'll level it by going in the overworld and collecting things, right? So that's one. So for example, for my gemology, I can come here and craft raw ore. And I'm trying to increase that. Now, let's say, and I switched off botany and mineralogy for gemology because I realized I need that for embedding. But you also hear stamina. What this means, and we can do an example here, just so we get used to it. Come to this raw ore. When you use focused, you are using the stamina to farm this. But what that means is the material I get, I could actually list on the auction house. But if I just do gathering, then it's bound to me. So I can still farm material to use for myself, right? So if I'm trying to make something for myself, I would just farm it like this. I'd gather it, and then I'd make it for myself. But if I'm trying to do it for focused, then I might put it up for sale. I can do more with it. So that's one thing to note as you spend your stamina, and you have a lot of it, so you want to go through and use it to max out. Depending on the skills you choose, you'll see here that to get these, you need to unlock these talents, and to unlock these talents, you use these coins. You'll get certain coins for leveling up certain life skills, so you'll get more of them to use towards one or the other. As you level it up, you'll see I need Fruit Pro. And then you also see the condition, server open for 7 days. For a lot of these, they are time gated like that. Like I can't get either of these, and I can't get the gem cutting to make my own gem yet because it hasn't been 7 days for the server to open. But you'll use these coins, right? Life mastery skills to go through these talent trees and get these talents. And then as you get these talents, it'll let you do certain things here, like craft different ones. And then if you use the stamina to get the material, then you can craft it into something you can potentially sell on the market. And then as you can see here, you just get rewards for reaching different levels here. Nothing too crazy. So that's life skills. There's a lot of options here. You can really start cooking different things, right? Smelting can give you refined pieces for upgrade mats and material, right? These are all for refinement. These can be used for potions and food, right? This is for, again, gear. So there's a lot of potential. It's just important to figure out what you kind of want to do and how you want to go into it. You can unlock all of these, but that's where you'll put the talents into to figure out what you actually want to use or do. Because if without the talent, right, I could have botany unlocked, but I can't really do anything unless I unlock the talent to collect herbs. Now, the last thing here to note is how could I level these quickly? Well, if you come here to that original spot, you can see here, and it's called the Botany Exchange. It's a quest you can do. You talk to thing. You can trade in a certain amount of material to increase your level instead of keeping it. However, a simple way to do that is if you go and you buy the currency, buy the mats from the exchange vendor. So I'll show you guys how to do that. Okay, odd, it spawned to me here instead of here, because usually it does, but this is how the navigation is. I'm just gonna do this myself. Look at that, bro. It's so sick. Right, I can submit 80 portions of this and she'll let me level my stuff up. Now, how could I do that quickly? Well, if I come over here to the exchange, the guy you'll talk to actually unlock this stuff, you can come here, mineralogy, which is this one, gemology. I can do quarry exchange and actually buy all the mats here. 80, 80, 80. I think it's this, this, this. And then I can go trade it in. It's a really simple way. You're trying to, you know, like I'll do gem crafting here because I kind of want to level it anyway. I think she asked for 40 of these. I have 38, so I do 38 here. They get expensive, so that's the only thing to note. But if you're trying to invest into that skill, it's well worth it to go through and submit, right? Because it gives you a bunch of levels, gets you ahead, and lets you unlock different things. So it generally covers life skills, focused, unfocused, and how you might be using these in later game. The last thing to look at is your guild. Definitely recommend joining a guild or making your own. The first thing is when you make a guild, you need 10 members. Then on day 2, they can crowdfund the guild to make the guild active and give you a guild house. Without that crowdfunding, you'll just have your guild, but you won't be able to actually interact with any of this because it'll tell you to get a guild house first or a guild center. So everyone's guild center is found in the same place. It's down here. You can enter directly into it just by clicking return. Once you're here, the 2 main things to do every day, no matter what, is do your guild check-in. And so we'll just have a look here. We'll do your guild check-in. It should be here somewhere. Right here, complete check-in, get 10 guild EXP, get guild funding. Those will be used to level up your guild and then also buy things for your guild, like resources and stuff like that. And then activity, based off what you do, doing your dailies, you'll get that as well. And those are daily. And then your cargo. So you come in, you can check in here, and here you can upgrade as well. You can see here you can upgrade based off guild EXP. That's why you want to come in and do that. So your guild gets enough EXP to upgrade to level 3. And then it lets you upgrade different vendors here. And then the cargo vendor as well. If you come here, each day you submit a certain amount. So here I have more of these. You know what? I'm going to submit more. Now I'm at this, right? And depending on the price he's giving, you'll want to submit things that he's giving more for. And then when he departs, you'll get this much back for reaching that level. So if you want more tokens, it's a way to do it. You click depart, there you go. There's also a chance of getting these boxes, which are nice, which should have more. You get obviously honor coin and Unbound for submitting. So make sure to do that with the guild EXP for yourself. Another cool thing about guilds, and you kind of want to get one, is you're able to change your actual card here. So you can see here, this is my profile pic. This is my card here with the pose here, right? So I'm able to set that by coming here and setting a pose. I can choose how I want to do it. I can be like that, and you can get really creative about the poses you want to do. They give you a lot of freedom and options here to pause, go through, rotate, decorate. So just a lot here. Again, spend your time here, take your card for photo and portrait. To do that, you'll need the vouchers. I think they give you one free one, but if you want to buy more vouchers are basically what you're going to use to change it. You can buy up to 5 here. So you use one of these and you change it. You can also get advanced materials here, which is really nice, and refinement materials here. So again, definitely get in a guild, get those materials, buy them all out, and then you should be good in terms of that. The leisure area, again, something you upgrade later, but it just lets people go around. The only 2 other things I'll talk about here are, well, actually 3. We've got the feature center here, you can upgrade. Once it's level 2, you can start activating different buffs. I think this is later on when you have more, but the only buff right now is if I spend 500 of the guild credit, I can give everyone +1 fishing for every fish obtained. So that could be useful. There's training W's here you can do to just test different builds to see what you think feels good, or better or worse. So it's a pretty nice option here to try. Just moss around. And here we get to the last few things of the guild, and finally done with this long video. I told you there was a lot. The guild hunt and the guild dance. The guild dance is going to be the leisure guy upstairs. Friday between this time frame, get people on. Everyone just dances together. I think it's if you have 10 people dance, you get extra guild EXP. Awesome, you get guild tokens. The more fun one to me is the guild hunt. He'll be open at a certain time. He's not here, you'll talk to him. And it's only Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So again, it's kind of nice because they don't want you to feel pressure during the weekdays to do anything. But you get on, you attempt a normal and a hard mode. The hard mode's pretty hard. It's teams of 5. And you complete it, you get rewards. I think you get 2 attempts or 2 completions. And then you don't really get rewards from it anymore. But the key here is you kind of want everyone in your guild doing this. Because the more people do it, the more EXP you get, and you need everyone to do it to say that you like completed the event. So it's percentage based. So you kind of want everyone in the guild to come and try and do it, and do their 2 runs in their groups of 5 or whatever to make sure you're getting all the guild tokens and maximizing on the rewards. Because again, this reward right here is the key reward you're looking for. It's for those Imagine wills, and you can get that through here. And that covers guilds. I've covered pretty much everything. I generally covered this. The last section here maybe is just the mounts and exploring. So when we look at the mounts, I believe it's not here. Is it here actually? Yeah. These 2 are fixed locations. Don't know where. I don't give a shit about the pigs. But this pig's pretty cool. It's RNG where it is on the map. Someone will say where it is. I haven't seen anyone get this yet. I wonder how much an Unbound version of this would sell for. Probably a gajillion. But you go, you find them. Same with these. These take 1 damage each. You kill them, and you get a chance of getting these to drop. Cool. Again, haven't seen anyone get any of these, so the rate must be really low. And that is that. That covers everything. If I missed anything, and there's a lot, sorry, but there is so much in this game, and that's why I made this, to give a section. If there's anything missing or more in depth, let me know. I'll make a follow-up and kind of go more in depth into it, explain more potential and things you can do and how you can cook. There was one other thing I wanted to mention that I missed earlier, and it's about the monster hunt. This game does a really good job about this, and again, I mentioned you can get rewards and drops. You can go to a boss at 10%, hit it once, get the reward, switch channels, go hit another boss that's at 5%, get that reward. So again, there's no limit. It doesn't kind of cuck you for not doing enough damage. It's super friendly. Go through, grind world bosses, whatever you spend your time doing. The game kind of respects your time by giving you reward. It doesn't like give you these like, well, actually you only hit the boss once, so your contribution's lower, so you're not going to get a reward, right? It's nice that way. Everyone kind of comes through, gets rewards, gets stuff. So thank you for listening. It was a long video. If you guys like, comment, whatever, subscribe, and more people. I will be streaming on Twitch. I actually streamed myself doing all of this for a whole hour, and then my mic was too quiet, so I'll do better on that next time. Streaming with my Guild North. Feel free to apply when this game goes live. Definitely looking at making it a mainstay and making content on it. Let me know what you guys would want to see next. Thanks for watching.